The Galactic Security Council chamber hung suspended in the void of space, its crystalline walls refracting starlight across the assembled delegates. High Counselor Zixna, her iridescent scales shifting with concern, studied the holographic display before her. 27 scout ships had vanished in the past solar cycle, all near the same unremarkable yellow star. "This pattern cannot be ignored," she announced, her melodic voice carrying across the chamber. The other counselors, representing the 12 most advanced civilizations in the known galaxy, stirred uncomfortably in their environmental pods. "Something is interfering with our expansion into Sector 847. The display zoomed in on the third planet of the system, a blue-green marble swirling with white clouds. Initial scans had dismissed it as merely another world harboring primitive life, but the disappearances suggested otherwise. "We've located Valkyra," announced Sub-Counselor Reen, his tentacles rippling with satisfaction. "She's currently in the Andromeda arm, completing a security assessment of the hive worlds." A murmur of approval rippled through the chamber. Valkyra was legendary among their kind, the most skilled operative in the galaxy. Where others saw only surface details, she discovered truth. Where others found chaos, she discovered patterns. Her services commanded astronomical fees, but her insights were invariably worth the cost. "Patch her through," Zixna commanded. The hologram shifted, revealing a tall, sleek figure. Valkyra's species was ancient, predating even the council itself. Her metallic skin reflected the starlight, and her 4 eyes, each capable of seeing into different dimensional planes, focused on the council with unnerving intensity. "Counselors," she acknowledged, her voice carrying the weight of millennia. "I trust this interruption is warranted." Zixna gestured, and the data regarding the missing ships flowed through the neural network. Valkyra absorbed it in seconds, her eyes narrowing as she processed the information. "Curious," she said finally. "Your ship's disappearances defy known patterns of spatial anomalies or pirate activity. Have you conducted surface observations?" "Impossible," Reen interjected. "The primitive species on that world is highly aggressive. They constantly engage in territorial conflicts and have already developed atomic weapons. Standard protocol marks them as too dangerous for direct contact." Valkyra's expression shifted subtly. Was that amusement? "Precisely why you need me," she said. "I'll take the contract, but my terms are non-negotiable. Full autonomy, triple my usual fee, and," her eyes pulsed with an inner light, "no interference from the council, regardless of what I discover." Zixna felt her scales ripple with unease, but she knew they had no choice. "Agreed. How soon can you begin?" "I'm already on my way." The hologram flickered out, leaving the council chamber in contemplative silence. 3 days later, Valkyra's ship, the Silent Observer, slipped into orbit around Earth. Unlike the crude council scout ships, her vessel was a masterpiece of stealth technology, incorporating phase-shifting capabilities that rendered it completely undetectable to current Earth technology. She stood at the observation deck, her 4 eyes each focused on a different aspect of the planet below. The dimensional view revealed something she'd never encountered before. The entire planet pulsed with an unusual energy pattern, centered around the dominant species. "Fascinating," she murmured. "Begin full spectrum analysis. Priority on population centers." Her ship's AI compiled data as Valkyra watched humanity go about their daily lives. What she saw challenged everything she thought she knew about emerging civilizations. A construction worker in Singapore lifted a fallen beam that should have been impossible for any organic being to move, saving his trapped colleague. A mother in Brazil ran at speeds that defied physics to rescue her child from an oncoming vehicle. A group of teenagers in Norway survived in freezing conditions that would kill most species, not just surviving but adapting to their environment. "Cross-reference with known species capabilities," she commanded. The results were unprecedented. Humans operated at peak performance levels that other species could only achieve through technological enhancement. Their endurance, adaptability, and problem-solving abilities exceeded all projected models. Valkyra's attention was drawn to a military training exercise in a desert region. The soldiers moved with a coordination that reminded her of the legendary swarm minds of the hive worlds. But these were individuals choosing to work together, not driven by a collective consciousness. Analyze disappearance sites of council vessels, she ordered, a theory forming in her mind. The data confirmed her suspicions. Each ship had vanished while attempting to establish observation posts near military installations. The humans hadn't just detected the supposedly stealth vessels, they had systematically eliminated potential threats to their security. Valkyra opened a secure channel to her private network, bypassing council protocols. Send immediate alert to all registered observation vessels. Withdraw from Earth space. Priority Alpha. She knew the council wouldn't like her conclusions, but her reputation was built on telling uncomfortable truths. The humans weren't just another primitive species, they were something entirely new. Their technological development might be in its infancy, but their potential was nothing short of terrifying. As she prepared her initial report, Valkyra found herself doing something she hadn't done in centuries. She smiled. The council thought they were sending her to investigate a problem. Instead, they had given her a front-row seat to what might be the most significant discovery in galactic history. The question wasn't whether humans were responsible for the missing ships. The question was what would happen when humanity discovered they weren't alone in the universe. And based on what she'd seen, Valkyra suspected the galaxy wasn't ready for the answer. Valkyra's initial report to the Council caused an uproar that threatened to destabilize centuries of galactic protocol. As debates raged in the Crystal Chamber, she continued her observation mission, delving deeper into the mystery that was humanity. Thermal imaging of Population Center 2847, she commanded, studying the sprawling metropolis humans called New York City. The silent observer's sensors revealed a heat signature unlike anything she'd encountered in her millennia of exploration. The entire city blazed with energy, not just from its technology, but from the humans themselves. They burned so bright, she murmured, her four eyes shifting through dimensional planes. Cross-reference with known species metabolic rates. The data confirmed what she'd suspected. Humans operated at energy levels that should have burned them out within days, yet they sustained it indefinitely. More incredibly, they could increase their output when needed, drawing on reserves that seemed to defy the laws of biology. A priority alert drew her attention to a mountainous region. Her sensors had detected something extraordinary. A group of humans were scaling a vertical cliff face in conditions that would kill most species. They called it recreation. Magnify Sector 7, she ordered, focusing all sensors on the climbers. They moved with a precision that rivaled the cybernetically enhanced warriors of the Krell Empire, yet these humans were using purely organic bodies. More remarkably, they were laughing. Valkyra's second set of eyes, attuned to probability streams, noticed something else. Every human on that cliff face had already mapped multiple routes in their minds, calculating risks and alternatives with an instinctive speed that matched advanced AI systems. They weren't just surviving. They were thriving on the challenge. Her investigation was interrupted by an urgent transmission from the Council. Your report is causing considerable concern, High Counselor Zixna announced, her scales shifting rapidly in distress. Several members are calling for immediate containment protocols. Valkyra's metallic skin rippled with disapproval. Containment would be a catastrophic mistake. These humans, they're unlike anything we've cataloged before. Explain, Zixna demanded. Valkyra transmitted a new data stream. Watch this, she said, showing footage of a human emergency response team. They were fighting what humans called a forest fire, rushing into conditions that would instantly kill most species. They willingly risked death to save others. Not just their own kind, but other species, even their environment. Primitive altruism, dismissed Zixna. Many developing species exhibit such behaviors before evolving beyond them. No, Valkyra countered, switching to footage of a human research station in Antarctica. This is different. They deliberately seek out the most hostile environments, not just to survive, but to learn. Their drive to explore and adapt is encoded into their very beings. She shared more footage. Human submarines diving to crushing depths, researchers living in space stations, settlers in desert outposts. They're not just surviving in these environments. They're building communities, conducting research, raising their young. No other species adapts so quickly or thoroughly. The High Counselor's dismissal faltered as she processed the data. The containment advocates argue this makes them more dangerous, not less. They're right, Valkera agreed, surprising Zixna. Humans are incredibly dangerous, but not in the way the Council fears. Their danger lies in their potential. They don't just adapt to challenges. They actively seek them out. Every obstacle we place in their path will only make them stronger. She transmitted her latest analysis. In the time I've been observing them, I've documented 17 separate instances of humans achieving what our scientists deemed physiologically impossible. They don't accept limitations. They view them as challenges to overcome. The High Counselor's scales had taken on a pale hue. "What are you suggesting?" "I need more time," Valkera replied. "There's something here we're missing. These humans, their capabilities aren't just physical. There's an aspect to their consciousness that operates outside our understanding of sentient development." The Council grows impatient, Zixna warned. They want solutions, not more mysteries. Valkera's 4 eyes pulsed with an inner light. Then perhaps it's time to consider something unprecedented. Instead of containing humanity, we should be learning from them. Before Zixna could respond, Valkera's sensors detected a new anomaly. A human research vessel was approaching one of the locations where a Council scout ship had vanished. More importantly, they appeared to be following a deliberate search pattern. "They know we're here," Valkera realized, her voice carrying a note of admiration. "They've been tracking us all along. Counselor, I need to investigate something. Expect my next report within 1 solar cycle." As the transmission ended, Valkera focused all her sensors on the research vessel. The humans aboard were excited, their energy signatures pulsing with what she recognized as anticipation. They weren't afraid of finding alien technology. They were hoping for it. "Fascinating," she murmured. "They're ready for us. The question is, are we ready for them?" The research vessel's discovery changed everything. Valkera watched from her cloaked position as the humans recovered fragments of a Council scout ship. Their excitement was palpable, even from orbit, their energy signatures practically blazing with triumph. But it was their methodology that truly captured her attention. Within hours, they had constructed a containment and analysis facility on their ship. Within days, they had begun to decipher the alien technology's basic principles. Their progress was impossibly fast, defying every model of technological advancement the Council had ever documented. "Replay analysis of human research protocols," she commanded. The silent observer's AI compiled the data, revealing something extraordinary. The humans weren't just studying the technology, they were improving it. "Emergency Council session required," she transmitted. "Priority Ultra." The Council chamber materialized around her in holographic detail. All 12 primary members were present, their various forms betraying signs of agitation. High Counselor Zixna's scales had taken on a stormy hue. "Speak, Valkera," the High Counselor commanded. "Your latest data stream has caused considerable alarm." Valkera projected the humans' research footage. "They found one of our ships. But that's not what should concern you. Watch their research methodology." The Council members observed as human scientists systematically dismantled, analyzed, and rebuilt the alien technology. Their progress was methodical yet intuitive, combining rigid scientific protocols with creative leaps that bordered on the impossible. "They're not just reverse engineering the technology," Sub-Counselor Reen noted, his tentacles writhing in distress. "They're theorizing applications we never considered." "Precisely," Valkera confirmed. "In less than a planetary rotation, they've grasped principles that took our civilizations centuries to develop." But there's more. She shifted the display to show multiple research sites across Earth. They're sharing their findings globally. Their entire species is collectively working on understanding us. The chamber erupted in chaos. Species that had evolved beyond emotional displays were showing clear signs of panic. Valkera waited patiently until Zixna restored order. The Containment Committee's recommendation appears justified. The High Counselor announced, "We must act before they develop further." "You don't understand," Valkera interrupted, her voice carrying an edge that silenced the chamber. "Containment isn't just impossible, it's dangerous. These humans, they don't think like us. Every obstacle becomes a challenge. Every restriction fuels their determination." She projected new data. Humans in survival situations, adapting and thriving where other species would perish. They call it necessity is the mother of invention. When faced with limitations, they don't submit to them. They innovate. They overcome. They evolve. "Then we must strike decisively," declared the Krell representative, his cybernetic implants pulsing with aggressive energy. "Eliminate the threat before it fully develops." Valkera's metallic skin rippled with frustration. "You still don't understand. Look at their history." She displayed scenes from human conflicts throughout their history. They've developed from simple tools to space exploration in a fraction of the time it took any of our species. Why? Because every conflict, every challenge, every disaster has pushed them to evolve faster. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. "If we attack," Valkera continued, "we won't eliminate them. We'll unite them, and based on my observations, a united humanity." She paused, letting her next words carry their full weight. "They would tear this galaxy apart looking for those who threaten their world." "What do you propose?" Zixna asked, her scales now a pale shade of concern. Before Valkera could respond, her ship's AI interrupted with a priority alert. The humans hadn't just been studying the recovered technology. They had activated it. More importantly, they were using it to scan for similar energy signatures. "They're looking for us," she announced. "Not just the scout ships. They're searching for the observers. For me." The council erupted again, but Valkera's attention was focused on her sensors. The humans had developed a detection system that was approaching her ship's position. Their adaptation rate was exceeding even her most extreme projections. "I must end transmission," she declared. "But understand this. We have hours, not days, to decide our approach. These humans are ready for contact. The question is no longer whether we should reveal ourselves, but how." As the council's hologram faded, Valkera watched the human vessel's search pattern with a mixture of concern and admiration. They had taken technology designed to hide from them and turned it into a detection system more advanced than the original design. "Remarkable," she murmured. "They don't just overcome obstacles, they transform them into advantages." Her ship's AI indicated that the human scanning beam would reach her position in less than 6 hours. Valkera had a decision to make, and for the first time in her long existence, she wasn't certain of the correct path. The galaxy was about to change, one way or another. The only question was whether it would be through cooperation or conflict, and the next few hours would determine which. As the human scanning beam approached her position, Valkera made a decision that would alter the course of galactic history. Instead of evading or retreating, she began powering down her cloaking systems. The council's emergency channel erupted immediately. "What are you doing?" Zixna demanded, her holographic form shimmering with agitation. "Making first contact on our terms," Valkera replied calmly, "before they force the issue on theirs." She watched as the human research vessel's crew reacted to her ship's suddenly visible presence. Their response defied every first contact protocol she had studied over her millennia of observation. Instead of panic or aggression, their energy signatures showed something entirely different: excitement. "This is Dr. Sarah Chen of the Earth research vessel Horizon." A transmission crackled through her ship's communications array. We've been hoping to meet you. Valkyra noted the perfect use of electromagnetic wavelengths. They had already decoded the communication protocols from the scout ship debris. Greetings, Dr. Chen. I am Valkyra, independent observer for the Galactic Security Council. The council chamber erupted in chaos at her open acknowledgement of their existence. But Valkyra's attention was focused on the humans' response. They were already adjusting their ship's position, not to attack or retreat, but to establish optimal communication range. We have questions, Dr. Chen continued, her voice steady despite the historical magnitude of the moment. And I suspect you do as well. Before Valkyra could respond, her sensors detected multiple high-speed objects entering orbit. The humans' military forces had arrived, but their formation was unlike anything she had expected. They weren't positioning for attack. They were establishing a defensive perimeter that protected both vessels. Your arrival was predicted. A new voice joined the channel. General David Martinez, Earth Defense Command. We've been preparing for this moment for generations. Valkyra's four-dimensional vision revealed layers of human preparation she had somehow missed. Hidden satellites, dormant defense systems, and a global response network that had activated the moment she decloaked. They hadn't just been ready. They had been waiting. The Council demands immediate withdrawal. Zixna's voice cut through her thoughts. This unauthorized contact is exactly what they need to see. Valkyra interrupted, broadcasting both conversations openly. Observe. The humans were already sharing data from their analysis of the scout ship technology, freely offering their insights and improvements. Their modifications showed an understanding of principles that had taken other species centuries to grasp. Your stealth technology relies on phase shifting, Dr. Chen explained, sending detailed schematics. We found a way to reduce the energy requirement by 40% through quantum tunneling. We'd be happy to share our findings. Valkyra's ship AI confirmed the humans' calculations were correct. They hadn't just understood the technology. They had improved it. In days. This is precisely what I've been trying to tell you. Valkyra addressed the council. They don't just adapt, they innovate. They don't just learn, they improve. And most importantly, she gestured at the growing fleet of Earth vessels, now forming a protective rather than aggressive formation. They're reaching out in peace despite knowing we've been watching them. We understand your caution, General Martinez added, having heard the exchange. Any advanced species would be concerned about a rapidly developing civilization, but we're offering something unique, a chance to learn from each other. The council members watched in stunned silence as humans from around the globe began sharing their research, their questions, and their ideas. Scientists, engineers, and leaders from every nation were connecting to the impromptu first contact session, each contributing their unique perspectives. Look at their approach, Valkyra urged the council. No other species has ever responded to first contact this way. They're not afraid of our advantages. They're excited by them. They don't see our technology as a threat. They see it as a challenge to improve upon. The human vessels had begun forming a more complex pattern, one that Valkyra's tactical systems took a moment to decode. They weren't just establishing a defensive perimeter. They were creating a space for diplomatic exchange. We propose a joint research initiative, Dr. Chen offered. Your technology, our innovation. Think of what we could achieve together. Valkyra's four-dimensional vision showed her the probability streams of this moment. In one direction lay the Council's preferred path of containment and control, a path that would inevitably lead to conflict with a species that grew stronger with every challenge. In the other, the Council needs time to discuss this development, Zixna began, but Valkyra cut the transmission. No, she declared, broadcasting to all present. The time for discussion is over. The time for action is now. She turned her attention to the humans. Dr. Chen, General Martinez, your species has demonstrated something unprecedented in galactic history. You've shown that advancement doesn't have to come at the cost of cooperation. That strength doesn't preclude peace. She began transmitting data from her ship's archives. carefully selected knowledge that would help humanity understand their place in the galaxy. Consider this a gesture of trust. The Council can debate policy, but I choose to act on the evidence before me. The humans' response was immediate and characteristic. They began analyzing the data while simultaneously sharing their own knowledge, starting a cascade of intellectual exchange that would soon reshape the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. Valkyra knew she had just violated centuries of protocol. But as she watched humans and her ship's AI begin an unprecedented exchange of ideas, she realized that sometimes progress required breaking with tradition. The galaxy was changing, and humanity, for better or worse, would be the catalyst. 6 months after first contact, the silent observer had been transformed. What was once Valkyra's solitary observation post now hummed with the energy of human and alien collaboration. The ship's originally pristine corridors were now dotted with Earth coffee machines, whiteboards covered in multiple languages, and the constant buzz of excited conversation. "Your species continues to defy expectations," Valkyra remarked to Dr. Chen, who was currently explaining a human concept called brainstorming to a group of council scientists. Their energy signatures showed clear signs of confusion. The idea of intentionally generating wrong answers to find the right one seemed illogical to them. "That's what makes us human," Sarah replied with a smile. "We're comfortable with chaos. We thrive on it." The Council's emergency session indicator flashed again, the 14th time this week. Valkyra had stopped counting the number of protocols she'd broken. Her decision to share technology with humans had sparked a crisis in galactic politics, but the results were undeniable. "Show them," she commanded her ship's AI, and the main chamber filled with holographic displays of human achievements from the past 6 months. The images told a story that no council member could deny. Humans had taken galactic standard technology and reimagined it in ways no one had considered. They'd improved faster-than-light drive efficiency by 300% by applying principles from Earth's subway systems. They'd revolutionized medical technology by combining alien regeneration techniques with human stem cell research. "This is unprecedented," High Counselor Zixna admitted, her scales now showing the deep blue of acceptance. "In all our history, no species has advanced this rapidly without destroying themselves." "Because you're all looking at it wrong," General Martinez interjected. He had become a regular fixture in these council sessions, his practical military perspective often cutting through centuries of bureaucratic tradition. "You see advancement as a linear process. We see it as exploration." Valkyra nodded, her 4 eyes each focused on a different aspect of the human achievements around her. "They don't just solve problems," she explained to the council. "They actively seek them out. Every challenge we present becomes an opportunity for growth." The evidence was everywhere. Human children were now learning alien languages through immersive games they'd designed. Earth's scientists had taken the Council's database of known species and created a revolutionary new field of xenobiology. Their artists were producing works that combined Earth cultures with alien perspectives, creating entirely new forms of expression. But most importantly, Valkyra continued, they've maintained their humanity through it all. She gestured to a nearby window, where an Earth engineer was patiently teaching a Krell warrior how to play something called basketball. The council chamber had fallen silent, observing as humans throughout the ship continued their work. They weren't just learning. They were teaching, sharing, adapting, and growing, and they were bringing others along with them. "We've been so focused on advancing our civilizations," Valkyra declared, "that we forgot what civilization means. Humans haven't just improved our technology. They've reminded us how to connect, how to wonder, how to dream." An alert sounded. Another Earth ship had achieved successful faster-than-light travel, using their modified design. But instead of keeping the improvements to themselves, they were already transmitting the data to every species that wanted it. "The Council recognizes," Zixna announced formally, "that our initial assessment of humanity was incorrect. We saw their rapid advancement as a threat. Instead, they have proven to be the catalyst our galaxy needed." Valkera watched as Sarah and her team celebrated another breakthrough with their alien colleagues. Humans hadn't just adapted to galactic society, they had transformed it. Their insatiable curiosity, their drive to improve, their ability to find solutions in chaos, these weren't threats to civilization. They were its future. "There's an old Earth saying," Sarah told her later, as they watched the sun rise over their blue planet. "A rising tide lifts all boats." We never wanted to conquer the galaxy, Valkera. We just wanted to explore it, understand it, and maybe make it a little better along the way. Valkera's metallic skin rippled with what she now recognized as joy. Her mission to assess humanity had turned into something far more significant. She hadn't just discovered a new species, she had witnessed the beginning of a new era in galactic history. "The Council wants to know what we should expect next," she said, her four eyes taking in the bustling activity around them. Sarah laughed, a sound that still fascinated Valkera with its pure expression of happiness. "That's the best part," she replied. "We have no idea, but we can't wait to find out." And as Valkera watched humans and aliens working together, sharing ideas, solving problems, and building connections, she realized that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their adaptability, their resilience, or even their creativity. It was their ability to make everyone around them want to be better. The galaxy had indeed changed, but unlike the Council's fears, it hadn't been through conquest or conflict. It had been through curiosity, cooperation, and an uniquely human determination to reach for the stars and bring everyone else along for the journey.